What's up, everybody? I want to tell you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's one of the easiest ways to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting Anchor on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download Anchor, the app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. And I'm a veteran, so let's hear some more military cadences. What's up, family? Let's get right into it. So the World Series is tied 2-2, which I just feel like this is just all for show because there's no blowouts anymore. I know it would be boring, but if you notice, like NBA, the NFL, like all of them, there's no blowouts no more in the playoffs, and then the final is always back to back. So 5-0, the Astros won today. The Lakers won in overtime, 120-117, and then the Celtics won today, 114-113. I don't have who they played, but do we even care enough? Yeah, that is what's happening there. Godzilla is coming out on November 3rd, 2023. They just continue to make this movie. I can honestly tell you, I have not watched Godzilla since I was a kid. This is the 30th Godzilla franchise. The 30th. At this point, I need to actually see him. I know they made a million Michael Myers movies, but Godzilla has them beat. Definitely. What do I want to talk about? It's a lot of stuff to talk about, but not to talk about because it's I'm just going through this thing. I'm going to see, there's 6 days left to vote, 5 days now if you're listening to it. So if you are voting, get ready to vote. Listen, I'll tell you honestly, I trust none of them. So good luck with that. Avatar is coming out on December 16th. Donald Trump has reached a settlement in a civil case brought by protesters who said they were violently attacked by his bodyguards outside of Trump Tower in 2015. I wonder how many. That's what probably has more things than Godzilla's 60 is Trump's lawsuits. Vladimir Putin attacks on U.S. democracy and his assault on Ukraine have been treated as two storylines. New York Times Magazine examined them both through the lens of the current war. So if you want to read up on that, you can. Joe Biden said today American democracy is under attack because the defeated former president of the United States refuses to accept the 2020 election. He refuses to accept the will of the people. He refuses to accept the fact that he lost. A lot of people are like, okay, Biden, you're saying this, kind of later on. The rapper that got killed yesterday, Takeoff, he was shot multiple times, once in his torso and twice in his torso and once in his head. So very unfortunate. I think they finally have pulled all the pictures of his dead body just laying out in the floor. I thought that was really terrible. This is a society that we just like to go around filming dead bodies instead of actually calling the police. Elon is still on his thing of charging for Twitter. A lot of people are not happy about that. A lot of people are saying they won't pay. I'm I'm excited for this because I want to see all the people that swear they aren't going to pay if they're going to stay. Because now all they keep saying is we're not going to pay. But I'm like, then when are you leaving? Because I almost kind of want to. Uvalde parents want officers to hear the heartbreaking 911 calls. One of the calls reveals a 10-year-old trapped with the Uvalde shooter repeatedly calling and begging for help. There's never before released audio from a student at Robb Elementary. Tonight's game, there was a no-hitter thrown for just the second time in the World Series as the Astros beat Phillies in Game 4. There was a Stone Age child's grave site in Finland found. Let's see what else. Trump's aide, Kash Patel, is ordered to testify to grand jury investigating the Mar-a-Lago documents. They want Mark Meadows' phone logs. The Oath Keepers leader wanted to warn Trump of upcoming combat here on U.S. soil. Trump filed a lawsuit to try to stop the New York Attorney General from getting records from trust that owns Trump.org. They said Clarence Thomas was key to the plan to delay the certification of 2020. Trump's lawyer said in emails. That's interesting. North Korea fires presumed ICBM in a failed test, South Korea's source says. Ukrainian investigators are looking for cases of sexual violence committed by the Russian soldiers. There's some magic mushroom that's supposed to be curing severe depression. A synthetic one. Let's see what else. It's kind of doing a verb. Miss America, Miss Argentina, and Miss Puerto Rico reveal that they're married. Found love in the Miss America pageant. Or Miss Universe pageant. Let's see what else. Grocery prices are soaring. This is all depressing. Kyrie Irving, Nets and Anti-Defamation League released a joint statement, and he has apologized for the movie he shared. A lot of people feel like Bezos, who sells the movie, should also answer for that too. I mean, who knows? They do sell that. What else is going on here that we would want to talk about? Yeah, I've had enough. Let's get on to our messy stories because I have a lot for you guys tonight. So I want to go ahead and get started on this. Let's go. So first we're going to start with a Karen because I love Karens. They're so irrational and crazy. And why not? So let's start with her.
We got it, y'all. We got it on camera. It's going down.
I will film you back.
Yeah, go ahead. Film it back. Because you're the one that was trespassing.
Ma'am.
Call, you got your phone? Call 911. So they know that it's her.
Call 911, sure. Do it. This is...
Yeah.
You have a motion sensor that's designed to be painful. You have an object that's designed to be painful that goes off repeatedly when people walk by. It's really... Oh my God, please.
Then move. Or
I
go
live
inside.
next door.
Okay, and you're the one trespassing on our stuff.
When your car
you're
isn't
over here.
Okay,
but is it bothering you right now? Is it bothering you right now?
It is, indeed.
Then go inside. Or you want to wait for the cops?
I'll wait for the cops.
We'll wait for the cops.
I'll wait for the cops.
Okay.
If you think that this is trespassing, but you keep your car on the sidewalk in front of your garage.
This is our garage. This is our property. This is our property. You cannot tell us where to park.
This is
yes, it is. This is our property. This right here is our property.
This is not your property.
Right here is our property.
That is the public sidewalk.
This is our garage. Are you crazy?
So put your car in the garage, ma'am.
Are you crazy right now?
I'm not crazy.
You are crazy. You are crazy.
I did spend time up, information about whether or not this is legal. And I couldn't in Googling find anything specific to the idea of a motion-activated noise sensor. But I did find stuff that's saying that if they're making the public space unusable, that's a violation of their.
So Karens are the best actors, and this girl is completely having a meltdown because these people had a motion light, and every time she walked by and came on, and it was hurting her. And I mean, if you guys want to get into acting and Oscar performances, Karen's got y'all beat. Like, this is who y'all should model y'all life after. Let's go to the next one.
We obviously blame the rapper, but we ignore who's behind the rapper.
And nobody.
It's the white man.
No, you goddamn lie.
No, it's the white man.
No. Listen, when you show up to my record label with your killing nigga music, I ain't behind what you wrote.
The white man is for sure.
You wrote them before you got here.
Yeah, you just gave $1 million for it.
But you wrote it. But listen, listen, brother. I'm a businessman.
Right.
I ain't got nothing to do with what you wrote. You wrote the lyrics talking about killing your neighbor.
But you didn't tell me, no, this isn't what you're supposed to be writing. You said, I'm going to give you $1 million
brother, but listen.
So you encouraged it.
No, I didn't.
With the utmost dollar amount.
No, I didn't. I'm a businessman, and I'm about business. Because when you stop rapping this, and I get a Nas X, and he can rap gay, I'm going to sign him too. You showed up with these gay killer lyrics, brother. I ain't got nothing to do with what's in your mind and what you want to project. I just know your destruction makes money. You came to provide y'all destruction, and it's going to benefit me and my family. Why would I turn you down? Do you turn down the pregnant drug addict who's trying to buy crack from you, brother? What about the girl who may look underage and selling? Do you turn her down? What about your homeboy's woman who's in a compromised state and you can fuck her and she come to you? Do you turn her down?
So that's a decent conversation about the state of rap. And, if right now, Kanye's blaming executives for people selling, serial killer lyrics. But at the end of the day, I kind of have to agree with him. Like, you guys are writing this, you guys are presenting this. Of course, they can get anybody to do it, but as long as we continue to buy, purchase, and promote this stuff, it is going to be glamorized. Black serial killers are going to be glamorized because we glamorize it in our music. So, yeah, I don't think that this is a case of, blaming executives. Once it's not cool to rap about killing each other, then maybe it won't sell. They'll change. Because rap did not start off as evil. I mean, it did not at all. Let's go to the next one.
The world's gone crazy. Today, I'm going to show you multiple things that have happened within the last week that demonstrate just how crazy folk have got. Meet Austin Thompson, a 15-year-old kid that lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, a place that I live for many, many years and have a lot of family and friends at. Last Thursday, this is what Austin did. Austin killed his brother, then walked through a neighborhood called Hedingham and murdered 4 other people and wounded 2 more with a shotgun and a long-arm rifle. Right now, for no apparent reason. After a huge manhunt, they found Austin. Austin ended up getting shot and is also fighting for his life. Part 1 of just how crazy our world has gone. Meet this super idiot. He's caught on camera dipping his penis in a woman's water bottle, infecting her with an STD. Right now, for no other reason than he's just crazy. In Texas, they're sending out DNA kits to the school to identify children's bodies if they get shot up by another shooter, instead of doing everything they can to make sure the school is safe for the kids. Yeah, this is where we're at. Meet this super perv. He's an Arizona GOP candidate who said he wanted to protect children from the progressive left. They caught this idiot outside masturbating in front of a preschool. And when he got caught, he said, "I'm sorry I effed up. I was just stressed out." This is where we're at, people. And the super dummy of all super dummies, Ron DeSantis, is down here in Florida locking up people who voted in the 2020 election who were former felons, who were given the legal right to vote through a law that was passed before that election. Afterwards, they went back, rescinded the law, and now are going back locking these people up and calling it voter fraud. New security force saying they ain't never seen things like this before. They never even seen these charges before, some of the officers are saying. But this is how crazy we got. This is why the world is going totally insane, because we got liars, crooks, and thieves in office making laws for us. If I could title this post, I'd call it Stay on Your Toes. Because we're in a world now where you have to stay on your toes and be vigilant at all times. You can't even go to the grocery store or hang out with your friends anymore without worrying about some lunatic who's jacked up off of drugs or political rhetoric going around trying to hurt people. So I say to you guys today, stay on your toes, be vigilant, fight. We're going to get through this together. And most of all, get out and vote. Vote your beliefs. Peace.
He's right. I mean, you guys have to stay vigilant. And yeah, I still don't trust any politicians, but vote. And don't do the door-to-door stuff. Make sure you can actually vote, because you never know. They might come back and try to get you. All right, let's go to our next one.
Miley Cyrus isn't happy with her dad because he groomed her old castmate when she was only 14 years old. We know Miley Cyrus and Billy Ray Cyrus are father and daughter, but Billy Ray, who's 61 years old, is engaged to Fire Rose, who's 23 years old. She's only 1 year older than Noah Cyrus, who's 22 years old. They seemed like a pretty happy family, and Tish, who's Miley's mom, and Billy Ray, they just got divorced in April 2022, so kind of recent. By the way, Miley looks just like her mom, stunning. But with this, Miley cut off like all communication with her dad, and Fire Rose and Billy Ray Cyrus had an interview, kind of, just watch, it's weird.
Tell me about how you guys met and this song came together.
We actually met 10 years ago on the set of Hannah Montana.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. 10 years ago on the set of Hannah Montana.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. And
Billy in that interview is looking like, don't say it, don't ask any more questions. What do you guys think of this? It's weird, right? He just got divorced, and then now he's re-engaged with someone who's like super young. It's weird because it's Hannah Montana.
It is weird, and I'm reading this story here from SCMP. It says, meet Miley Cyrus's rumored stepmom, Fire Rose, who may even be younger than her. Billy Ray Cyrus has been dating the Australian songwriter since split from his wife Tish. Then came the ring after Billy Ray Cyrus split from his wife Tish. Rumor has it he's engaged to girlfriend Fire Rose, especially after that Instagram post of her flaunting a shiny engagement ring. Controversially, Fire Rose says she met the 61-year-old as a teen on the set of Hannah Montana. She also went to the same uni as Stray Kids Bang Chang. Just 6 months after his wife Tish, who's 55, filed for divorce again. I guess she's filed before. It seems Billy has moved on with his new girlfriend, and the two are even rumored to be engaged. Billy Ray, father to pop star Miley Cyrus, fueled the rumor mill when he posted a photo on Instagram with his 28-year-old Fire Rose. Her age has been reported. She's got her huge diamond ring on. She's an Australian musician, and Billy Ray and her had been dating for a while, though the couple have not yet confirmed. Fans are curious. So what do you guys think about this? It's not shocking. I mean, to be young with an old man but the fact that they met on the set of Hannah Montana, that's the part that's creepy, because you would hope he wasn't grooming her or keeping her around for when she was old enough, and why the wife is actually divorcing him. These are all alleged, but it sounds fishy. Let's go to our next one.
Holy cow, the details are out of the FBI incident involving Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. And there's some not great details in here. Things do not look good for Mr. Pitt. Let's go through what the report says. To be clear, this is an official FBI report that had previously been heavily redacted when it was talked about in the press, so people didn't have access to the details. But now, because of the lawsuit about the winery that they own, the details have emerged. So here's what it says. Okay, so this all took place on a private plane in 2016. It starts like this. They had a fight that started because Brad told Angie she was being too deferential to their children, and then started yelling at her in the bathroom. Brad then grabbed Angelina by the head and shook her, then grabbed her shoulders and shook her again before pushing her into the bathroom wall. Brad then punched the ceiling of the plane numerous times, prompting Angie to leave the bathroom. When one of the children came to Angelina's defense, the court papers say that Brad lunged at the child, which prompted Angie to grab him from behind. Amid the altercation, Brad choked one of the children and struck another in the face. Okay, so the FBI has jurisdiction over anything that happens on a plane. So Angelina Jolie's filing states, and I'm just reading this, that the FBI agent who investigated allegations on the plane in 2016 concluded that the government had probable cause to charge Pitt with a federal crime for his conduct that day. But no charges were ever filed. Angelina filed for divorce just days after this incident, so it was obviously a big deal whether charges were filed or not. This is bad news for everyone involved. Obviously, it's a tragic situation for Angie and her kids to have been put through. The truth of the matter remains that only the people on that plane know what happened. These are just allegations, but it can't be good news for Brad Pitt's career. Brad's career has been on a definite upswing since the divorce. He's probably as hot as he's ever been right now. What do we think this is going to do to his career? Can he survive it?
I think we're going to see another Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial thing again. Yeah, it almost reminds me of the movie they did together, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Interesting. Domestic violence is never okay. Let's go to the next one.
In light of seeing that a rapper from Migos died, I just wanted to go ahead and make a video about something I have a unique experience in. So I directed a bunch of rappers, people like Gucci Mane, Snoop Dogg, Lil Yachty, the list goes on and on and on, okay? I learned a lot of things, and I have left the industry largely over my political beliefs, but there is something I want to impart to people to hopefully, make some sort of change happen. So I have a challenge to rappers, and I know some of you still follow me. I know a bunch of the celebrity blogs still follow me from trying to get news from music videos and things like that. So here's the truth. The truth is this. A bunch of young black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. The record executives that push for them to continue to make songs and create a culture that is obsessed with death, drugs, and sex. Period. The industry is obsessed with it, but those record executives, they're not dying because they don't push this culture on their own. Guys, in light of seeing...
So he goes on to say that, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of what was said earlier, like, the culture of rap music is just going downhill for the black culture with everything that is in every song. It's like, to be a good rapper, like a conscience rapper as they call it, someone they're called corny and people don't like that. People like the depression rappers, I want to die, I want to commit suicide. Like, rap music is just in the toilet right now, and we wonder why this generation is so depressed and sad and miserable. And yeah, it needs to be an actual change. So, people will be sad about this, but then they'll be listening to something else depressing and degrading tomorrow. So I'm going to get into this story. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Get Out. This lady said she had a real life Get Out experience. So let's see what she's talking about.
This is the story of how I was hypnotized without consent in an effort to convince me to marry someone, aka get outed. I was driving up to a cabin in the woods. Yes, I'm setting the scene. I'm a black person driving up to a cabin with white people. Forgive me for all of that now. Put that aside and hear me out. So we're driving up, and on this drive, I had been trying to end a relationship that had gone way too far. And throughout the relationship, if you scroll through my videos, you'll see that I struggled with abuse and gaslighting especially. And on this whole drive up, I said, listen, I can't take this anymore. You have to stop. It's over. And he said, wait until the end of the weekend. Okay, we're already on our way. And besides, his family had been kind to me, and I really wanted to spend some time with them. His mom, though, had warned me, stay away from his aunt. Do not let yourself be alone with her. And I've never had a warning like that. And I thought, she's just being paranoid. This is the weirdest thing. I've been alone with her before. She seems fine. So we get there, and the next morning, we got there at night, we go to sleep, and the next morning I can't find my fiance. And I'm looking around for him, and his aunt walks up and says, would you like to see my art studio? Now, she's an artist, and I've seen the art. It's beautiful. Wire sculptures, everything. Amazingly talented person. And I say, yeah, sure. You know, I can't find him. I don't know where else to do. We go down a little lane up to her art studio. And I'm looking at the art, and I'm kind of wandering around, and I see a drum in the corner. Now, these are white people. I'm a Nigerian American, and I looked at it, and I was like, I know nobody around here plays this damn drum. So I ask, do you play? And she says, oh, I'm a shaman. Have you ever been on a shamanic voyage? And I'm thinking, no, I've never been. So she sits me down in this chair, and I hadn't agreed to anything. I just said, I've never done that. And before I knew it, she was tapping this drum. Doom, doom, doom. And without me realizing it, my eyes closed, and they opened with me standing outside. Like for part 2. So I'm standing outside, and I don't know how I got there, but I'm directly outside of the cabin that we were just in. And I look up a small hill, and I see my fiance standing at the top of the hill, and he's waving and smiling. And I feel safe because I see a familiar face, but standing between us is a fox. And this fox, its body is facing towards my fiance up the hill, and its head is turned back towards me. And I felt that it was beckoning me, come with us, go up the hill. So I follow it up this hill, because I don't know where I am, but I'm following it to the only familiar face that I recognize. And then whoosh, we're in a nursery. Why are we in a nursery? We're in this room, it's all white, and my fiance is carrying a baby, and he's holding on to it and patting it and humming to it. Now, I didn't want children, I don't want children, and I had been very upfront with my fiance about this, and leading up to this moment, he had been trying to basically campaign for me to change my mind. And this was towards the end where I was like, look, this is not compatible. We are so clearly incompatible. We really have rushed this. It's not a great idea. And he was trying to gaslight me into kind of just like staying the course. And so he's patting this baby, and I was filled with kind of this sense of calm. Like, he looked good carrying the baby. It looked like a cute child that looked maybe biracial. I don't know. But then before I could even say anything to him, everything starts happening in reverse. And I'm walking backwards. I'm watching this happen in reverse. I'm walking backwards, and the fox is the last thing I see before my eyes open up again. And I'm sitting back in the cabin with his aunt, and she's banging the drum, do, 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 in my face. And I'm hyperventilating, and I don't know where I am, and I don't know what's going on. And the rocking chair is going back and forth. And just as I start to realize that I have gone back from wherever I was back into her studio, my fiance, who I couldn't find that morning, shows up and walks into the studio and says, there you are. I've been looking for you all day. Curious, because I could have been but two places. I could have been inside the house, the main cabin, or the studio. How long could he have been looking for me if he just found me? And where was he looking? Not very hard. So I was so scared, I didn't tell him what I had seen. In fact, I was more scared by his reaction because he didn't react at all to me crying and hyperventilating. He just smiled and said, there you are. Like for part 3. This is the last part. So by this point, I have been hyperventilating and crying and really frazzled. And she's slowing down the beating of this drum as my fiance comes in and says, oh, I've been looking for you. And I was not convinced that he was actually looking for me. And I was so scared and mortified and horrified and all the other words I was so scared that I just calmed down, regained my composure, and just told myself, you've got to stay calm and have your wits about you. So after that, we went for a walk, and I was like, okay, everything's okay. And we had to get ready for dinner. Dinner was at his cousin's house. So we get ready, we go to the cousin's house, and I'm helping out setting the table for dinner. On the plates, remember, I didn't tell anyone what I saw, but on the plates, as I was setting the table, are red foxes. And I put a plate down, and I look up, and his aunt is looking at me, and she winks. That was a bad wink. She winks. And I did not tell her I saw a fox, and I started just kind of stay calm, you have one more day here, you're leaving tomorrow, it's okay. So I didn't know what to make of the whole situation. In my head, I thought, well, maybe I did see this vision, and maybe these are signs that I should be with him, because it didn't seem terrible. This was me ignoring my instinct and being the first Black person to die in a horror movie, like an idiot. But then after some time, a couple of months, all of the signs the universe was screaming at me to trust your instinct. If you see, I had a recent video about a cosmic reading I did, where the lady was like, you should not be married. And I knew that. There are so many signs and so many ways that I was trying to convince myself out of something I knew I needed to do. So when I finally did call it off, I was binging Fleabag. And in the show, the main character falls in love with the priest, and it's bad for her, as it would be, but it's bad for her, and the priest is followed by a fox. So I Googled, what is the significance of a fox in storytelling? And when I read what I read, I screamed. If you see a fox in your dream or a vision, it's meant to point to something that your instinct knows is bad for you. It's to remind you to trust your instinct. So that fox, guiding me up the hill to my fiance, was trying to point up to him and say, you know what you need to do, so do it.
Yeah. I've never seen a fox in my dream, but if I do, I'll listen. That is crazy, and I never understand these stories because, you weren't, taken captive. I don't know if this was during the time of the Uber, but, if I felt like somebody was hypnotizing me and doing some voodoo stuff on me, I'm out. I'm not staying till tomorrow. We're not eating dinner. I'm not even trusting y'all to give me water or food. I'm out of there. I'm gone. I'm out. The actual get out would happen. All them people, the drum would be destroyed. Everything would be done. No, I'm not gonna sit there and pretend like everything is cool. Well, she lived to tell about it, and she lived to watch Fleabag and see what the fox meant, and she screamed. Yeah. Some people have no intuition. That is all I can take tonight, guys. Tomorrow is football. We'll talk about that, and I'm sure something will be going on in this crazy world we live in. You guys stay safe and stay dangerous. F for Family is signing off.